When you have a 16-year-old PC with a dual-core CPU and just 2 GB of RAM, what OS would you actually put on it today? An unsupported copy of Windows 7? A super lightweight Linux distro? Or maybe Android? Well, for me, none of the above. Today, I'm trying something completely different. A weird operating system with a retro UI straight out of the late 90s. But it makes this old machine boot up as smoothly as a modern PC. So why has a piece of tech antiquity like this been actively developed for over 20 years? And why do people still love it? What makes it so special? Let's tinker with it together. In my recent videos experimenting with old PCs, I loved seeing so many comments from all of you. So first off, a huge thank you to everyone for supporting this topic. And what I have for you today is Haiku. Oh no, we're not talking about Japanese poetry today. This is a super unique OS with an iconic blue desktop and minimal icons. At first glance, it almost felt like Windows 98 from a parallel universe, but looking closer, it doesn't feel like Windows, it doesn't feel like Linux, it's completely unlike anything I've ever tested before. If you've never heard of Haiku, don't worry, because today is actually my very first time trying it out too. So if I miss anything or get something wrong in this video, please go easy on me. I'm just here to share these fun tinkering experiences with you all. Alright, so what exactly is Haiku? It's an open source operating system designed specifically for personal computing. Inspired by BeOS, Haiku aims to be fast, easy to use, easy to learn, yet surprisingly powerful. The Haiku project started back in 2001, and it's still actively developed today with a pretty dedicated community behind it. In fact, the latest version was just released in September 2024. But why the name Haiku? Well, it actually comes from the short Japanese poetry form. Back in the day, BeOS used to display customized Haiku poems as error messages inside their web browser, and that unique touch eventually inspired the name for this entire OS. But first, let's take a look at the machine we're using to test Haiku in today's video. This is a Dell OptiPlex 780 released back in 2010. It shows a bit of wear and tear over the years, and with this legendary Windows 7 sticker right here, you can easily tell its golden era was a long time ago. It's running a Core 2 Duo E8400 CPU paired with a single 2 GB stick of RAM. When it comes to modern Windows or Linux distros, this machine definitely struggles to provide a smooth experience. But for Haiku, minimum specs only call for a Pentium 2 and 384 MB of RAM, while recommended is a Core i3 with 2 GB. So this OptiPlex still has plenty of headroom. And well, unfortunately, this PC doesn't have a hard drive installed yet. To keep things as authentic and retro as possible for today's experiment, I'll be using this 160 GB HDD to see just how smooth Haiku can actually run. To be honest, I have no idea where the hard drive is actually supposed to go in this case, because the drive bay has completely vanished. So I'm just gonna rest the drive right here. Looks good enough. Let's close the side panel and hope it doesn't fall out while I'm using it. It doesn't look pretty, but it actually feels pretty solid. Everything is set. Now I'm downloading the ISO installer from Haiku's official website. The latest release is R1 Beta 5, launched back in September 2024. The ISO is only 1.37 GB, pretty lightweight. As usual, I'm using Rufus to flash the Haiku ISO onto a bootable USB drive. All done. Now let's plug it in and start exploring this super unique OS. Booting from the USB is crazy fast. We have a blue desktop with a few minimalist icons. This UI honestly feels like it's straight out of the 90s. Not flashy, not modern at all. But what's fascinating is how unbelievably fast and smooth everything runs, even though I'm still in the live USB environment. Whenever I open an app, it responds instantly with zero latency. Even the mouse cursor is designed as a little hand icon, which looks pretty cool. See that? Sorry for my cheap camera quality, guys. Haha. Resource usage is ridiculously low. The CPU is hovering at just a few percent, and RAM is also only using a little over 300 megabytes. Honestly, in this day and age, it's almost impossible to find an OS this lightweight that's still actively maintained. One cool trick is window stacking. Just hold the Windows key on your keyboard and drag their yellow title bars together. Look at that, your windows snap into custom tabs. You can also unstack them whenever you want. Super neat feature. At first, I thought this interface was just plain retro nostalgia from the 90s. But in reality, it's got some really clever tricks up its sleeve. Alright, so before I tinker any further, let's get Haiku installed onto the internal HDD first. In the corner, we have the desk bar. Clicking on the Haiku leaf icon brings up a menu with all the system apps and tools nicely organized by category. To kick off the installation, I'll go into Applications and launch the installer. Right now, it's notifying us that no partition was found to install the OS. This HDD is currently completely blank. We need to create a new B file system partition. This is the custom file format used by BeOS, and Haiku uses it too. Let's write the changes and format it to proper B file system standards. Alright, done. Back in the installer, we can finally select the HDD partition. Hit begin, and let's wait a moment. Hey, is it finished already? That was quick. Even though this machine doesn't have any USB 3.0 ports and it's running on an HDD, the installation time was mind-blowingly fast, probably less than 30 seconds. That's actually way faster than when I installed FidoOS or PrimeOS before. That's insane. Alright, time to reboot and pull out the USB drive. The boot speed is crazy fast too. I didn't even have time to set up my stopwatch. So let me restart it one more time just to show you how fast this thing actually boots up. By the way, why don't I measure Haiku's shutdown time as well? Holy cow, it only took 2 seconds to turn off. Talk about fast and furious. Alright, now for booting up. Counting from the moment I hit the power button to the desktop appearing includes the time for the Dell OptiPlex's figuring itself out to boot. It takes about 12 seconds just to reach the Haiku boot screen, and another 15 seconds to hit the desktop. That is ridiculously fast for an old spinning HDD. Alright, let's open the About Haiku menu right here. And we are running Haiku R1 Beta 5 version H-Rev 57937, powered by an Intel Core 2. Oh, it actually missed the E8400 part of my CPU name, paired with 2 GB of RAM. It even displays the time running right down here. Now, let's take a look at some of Haiku's interesting features. One of them is Replicants. Basically, this lets you pin a mini applet directly onto your desktop, which stays active even after you close the main application. For example, with this About System dialog, see that tiny icon in the bottom corner? Just click and drag it straight onto the desktop, and even if we close the original dialog, it stays right there. You can easily drag these widgets around wherever you like. Haiku also comes bundled with a good set of built-in utility apps. Everything is accessible via the desk bar menu. And here we have Web Positive, Haiku's default built-in web browser. It looks pretty bare bones, honestly giving off heavy Internet Explorer vibes from back in the day. I can browse a few simple sites like Google, Wikipedia, or Haiku's official homepage, and they load just fine. But when I head over to Reddit, the site completely freezes up. I can't interact with anything, even though the system itself is still fully responsive. The issue likely stems from Web Positive browser still being too limited to handle heavy, modern websites with complex JavaScript. Luckily, Haiku comes with its own app store called Haiku Depot, where I can download extra apps. Let's give Firefox a shot. Installed. Look at that, there's a weird black box visual glitch right around the mouse cursor, see it? But on the bright side, Reddit actually loads properly this time. It's not super smooth, but it's definitely an improvement over Web Positive. YouTube can even play videos now, though that mouse cursor glitch is still there. Everything feels pretty laggy though. I think Haiku still has a long way to go when it comes to web browsing. Alright then, let's try something else. We can actually install LibreOffice. It works pretty well and I can type documents without any issues. Oh look, hello, I'm typing a document on Haiku. So funny. We can also install OpenShot, a free open source video editor. Look at this, I can actually edit videos right here. Oh, 4K resolution? That's awesome. Wait, holy cow, it even has options for 8K and all the way up to 16K. Alright, so maybe I'll just edit all my YouTube videos on Haiku from now on. Sounds pretty tempting, doesn't it? Haiku also handles basic programming pretty well. I tried writing and compiling a small C++ script right on this OS. It renders a simple face, and every time you click the button, its expression changes. Nothing overly complex, but everything runs really smoothly, and it's honestly pretty fun to mess with. So after today's experiment, which was also my very first time diving into Haiku, it was a genuinely fun experience. Built on the legacy of BeOS, its core philosophy centers around simplicity with a distinctive retro vibe. It feels completely different from any Windows or Linux distro I've ever used. With its absurdly light hardware requirements, needing just a few hundred megabytes of RAM, it can run smoothly on virtually any old computer lying around. So, what do you think about Haiku? Would you give it a spin yourself?